I'm extremely happy and honored. It seems that I am a very important person according to the things that you said. Uh, so you can believe the 1/3 of what Martin has said about me. Um, Sadly, I would have been able to be in Victoria today because my travel to Jerusalem was cancelled due of the war, but that was the cancellation of the trip was a few days ago, so I was unable to reschedule traveling to Spain. So I'm speaking from Assisi instead of from Jerusalem, as was originally planned. And I will say a few things only about a little part of the big book of the Silmarillion by Tolkien, especially about the Ainulindale, the recount of the creation, or better, the Ainur and the Maiar, the archetypical sub-creators who were called at the beginning to adorn the great music of Iluvatar, each with their own thoughts and devices. Tolkien was able to describe a phenomenal genesis and shaping of the world in a powerful and mythic way, giving to the Ainur the artistic task to a big performance of shaping reality of Arda, the living reality of the world, which start with music and then into vision. And this secondary world is not completely shaped. It's a dynamic creation with a complete history which keep growing and developing and flourishing in time through the sub-creating activity of the Valar, as these powerful beings, these angelic beings, are called after their decision to enter into the world. So the Valar were in charge of this huge sub-creative task of shaping the world. And they labor together with some helpers of lesser degree called the Maiar as co-workers and sub-creators in ordering the earth and trying to heal all the wounds to the creation that Melkor, the Dark Lord, tried to inflict on Arda. So the world described in the Silmarillion is still unachieved, developing, growing in non-prefigured ways, with cows and fights and a lot of unpredicted things, until it is said at the end of time, the music of Iluvatar shall be played fully aright, and the creation will be fulfilled in beauty without flaw. In this task, the Maiar, the lesser Valar, these lesser angelic beings, are the most involved in the shaping of Middle-earth. And some of them were sent to help elves and men and to awake them from despair and put away the imagination of darkness and to give them fair visions and promptings of wisdom in their hearts. This task of the Maiar make them deeply involved in the far of Middle-earth. And one of them, the most famous, took the name of Gandalf, is one of the Istari, the wizards, who were sent by the Valar to help in the fights of Middle-earth in the war against the lieutenant of Melkor, which is Sauron. So Tolkien says that there is not a precise modern term to say what he was. What was Gandalf? Yes, was one of the Istari, one of the wizards, those who know, an emissary from the Lords of the West. Strictly, says Tolkien, an angelos in the etymological sense, a messenger from the Lords of the West. And his task was to train, advise, instruct, arouse the hearts and minds of those threatened by Sauron to a resistance with their own strength, and not just to do the job for them. But where the physical powers of the enemy are too great for the goodwill of the opposers to be effective, he can act in emergency as an angel, no more violently than the release of St. Peter from prison, as is told in the Acts of the Apostles. That are the words of Tolkien. The name of Gandalf before coming to Arda was Olorin, a high elfin name which alludes to the dream, because his capacity was to help people during, even in their sleep, but when they are awake, to interact with their memory and their imagination, giving good images and feelings. And with that, we see Gandalf at work. For example, during the siege of Minas Tirith, he was walking the ramparts, and it is said in The Lord of the Rings, whenever he came, man's hearts would lift again, and the winged shadows pass from memory. Tirelessly he strove from citadel to gate, from more north to south about the wall, and yet, when he had gone, the shadows closed on men again, and the hearts went cold. So, as a powerful being, but in a human body, in the humility of the aspect of this old, wise man, he keeps trying to fulfill his task. And now and again, he still uses his abilities as a Maiar. For instance, when everyone thinks that he's already dead, and Frodo was in Amon Hen with a huge temptation of being captured by the Eye, Frodo experienced a help from Gandalf, who he thought was dead. It is written, then a flash from some other point of power, there came to his mind another thought. Take it off, fool, take it off, take off the ring. Gandalf spoke of this to the 3 hunters in Fangorn. Very nearly the ring was revealed to the enemy, but it escaped. I'd have some part in that, for I sat in a high place, and I strove with the dark tower, and the shadow passed. That is the function of the Maiar, of the Istari, of the wizards, and of Gandalf in particular, to help from afar or from close at hand. Even when Frodo again has the temptation of killing Gollum in Emin Muil, it seemed to Frodo that he heard quite plainly but far off voices out of the past. What a pity Bilbo did not stab the vile creature when he had a chance. Pity? It was a pity that they stayed his hand. Pity and mercy. Then be not too eager to deal out death in the name of justice. Even the wise cannot see all ends. Very well, he answered aloud. lowering his sword. I am still afraid. And yet, as you see, I will not touch the creature. For now that I see him, I do pity. And Sam stared at his master, who seemed to be speaking to someone who was not there. Same thing happens to Theoden in the Golden Hall. Gandalf, with his staff, point to the window, and the darkness seemed to clear, and through the opening could be seen high and far a patch of shining sky. Not all is dark. Take courage, Lord of the Mark, for better help you will not find. And Theoden regained his freedom. He says, dark has been my dreams of late, but I feel as one new awakened. I would know that you had come before, Gandalf. And Gandalf said, cast aside regret and fear. Do the deed and have. So this task of Gandalf, which is so well described in the Lord of the Rings, it's the example of what it is told in the Silmarillion of the involvement of the Valar and the Maiar in the drama of Middle-earth. This capacity of Tolkien in this fantastic and mythic way of showing the unseen dimension of the struggle of creatures in this life. So it's very consoling, I believe, to be able to read these old stories and to keep hoping that it's possible to fight against darkness. And as when Bilbo asked Gandalf, you'll keep an eye on Frodo, won't you? Yes, I will. 2 eyes, as often I can spare them. And later, speaking with Frodo, he said, I always will help you. I will help you bear this burden as long as it's yours to bear. But we must do something soon. The enemy is moving. The tale, the Lord of the Rings and in the Silmarillion, it seems that it's like a mirror of what we can see in the primary world, in our inner struggles and the dynamics of histories and the challenges and strives of humankind. So the literary gender of fantasy and myth could be an extremely good help to rekindle hope and courage in our own heart. So I hope that for everyone who participates in this conference, keeping the flavor of good reading and the capacity of good imagination, and to be able to discover the hidden light which is within the apparent powerful of darkness, is good help for our daily real life in the primary world. Thank you.